Guys, welcome back to the 3 a.m. podcast. My name is Charlie.
My name's DJ.
My name is Sean.
3 a.m. is the telling of spooky and silly stories weekly. Think campfire with your homies.
Yay, bro.
Do you know what I love?
No.
Saying brother with a hard R.
Why do you love that?
I don't know. Actually, it's something I've said for a really long time. I think it's something we as a friend group have said for a really long time.
Brother?
And I started trying to, so it's like, hey, brother, how you doing, brother? And I've tried to trace it back to the genesis, and it's conflicting. I don't exactly know where it started. Here's some hypotheses. DJ brought to light Kendrick Lamar.
I do remember that as a potential beginning.
Bro, who is dropping next month?
Kendrick
Let's
Lamar
go.
announced his album next month. Okay, we're all quietly working in the office, and all of a sudden, yes! And DJ jumps out of his chair and almost knocks his chair to the ground, and everyone's just staring at him, and everyone's like, are you okay? Speechless for 30 seconds. He won't respond to anyone, and finally I'm like, DJ, you good? And he goes, Kendrick just announced his next album.
Bro, he's the Beatles of our generation.
He's the Beatle.
He's the Beatle. He's the best.
But going back to Brother, what song is that from? Amazing, Brother.
With Baby Keem, Family Ties.
Family Ties. So DJ was like, do you think that's one pinpoint where it could have started, Brother?
No,
Right?
it goes back further.
I was going to say, it goes back, I think, to Hulk Hogan.
Okay, here's the second point. Here's the second evidence. Hulk Hogan. So I had a friend in high school. Her name was, do I want to say her name? I'll say her name. Her name was Lauren. And Lauren would get super drunk at parties. Sloppy, embarrassingly drunk. And when she got drunk, she would no longer be Lauren. She had alter ego. I can't remember the name. I can ask someone who will remember. But whenever she became this alter ego, she would just talk like Hulk Hogan for hours.
That's funny.
So people would be like, let's party. And she's like, let's do it, brother. And she would just do that and hold out beers. And that's how she talked. So that became an inside meme in our group of friends in high school. We'd all just be like, hell yeah, brother. And so everything was hell yeah, brother. So Hulk Hogan. But I recently saw a video that was talking about how slang in the Bay Area, they say brother with a hard R in the Bay Area. So I think there's also something like that going on.
Interesting. So we're basically Bay Area cool.
Dude.
Let's go, brother.
Look at us, brothers. Also, we were raised in the church where everyone is your brother.
And sister.
Hard our sister, dude.
Anyway, that's just something I was thinking of. So lame. Something I was thinking of. How was your guys' week?
Dude, it's been all right.
It's fine. Had a migraine all day.
Yeah. DJ came in because DJ and I work together now. Shout out us. He came in, dude, looking a little, when you come into the office and people are like, wow, are you tired?
You look how I
You
feel.
look so tired. Yeah. I wanted to do that, DJ. When he walked in, I was like, damn, you are tired. But he's like, I have a really bad migraine. So I was like, take my sunglasses. So DJ just looked like Ray Charles all day, just sitting there working. I was like, you are so cool right now.
Damn.
But yeah, he's had a migraine.
CEO is there.
Yeah.
I don't even think I introduced myself to him earlier.
CEO walked in and DJ was like,
Dude, that's how you're supposed to be with a CEO. Now he's going to think more of you and be like, damn, I need to go to DJ next time.
yeah, he wants your approval.
My head still hurts.
Sorry, we'll make this quick for DJ. We'll wrap it up. I possibly had the worst news of my life today.
Yeah.
What?
Dude.
So Charles, for months, has been very excited.
Stoked.
So he's driving home one day and he sees a bunch of utility trucks outside of his house and they're working.
Oh, no.
It gets worse.
What does he find? What do you find?
A flyer on my doorknob that said, Google Fiber is coming to your area.
And?
Dude, attest to this. My internet connection at my house,
Shite.
doo-doo caca. You can't load Instagram posts. That's how bad the Wi-Fi is at my house. So a lot of the production of the podcast gets pinch pointed.
Sure.
Gets effed up because my internet is so damn bad.
Or it's over here. Our internet is great, but our equipment is shit.
So it's like,
and you travel
Yeah.
35, 40 minutes to get out here.
yeah, I have the best computer, which will export stuff. And DJ has the best internet, which will upload stuff. So literally we have to like plan when we'll cross paths to like get stuff done. Super difficult. So Google Fiber is coming to my house. I'm so stoked because I'm like, dude, I could start streaming. I'm going to start playing video games on stream. I can like shoot my own content and just upload it right then. So stoked. Talking to DJ about it. And he's like, when is the Google Fiber coming? And I was like, I don't know. So DJ hops on the web and looks up a photo. And it's like, this is the map of a Google Fiber in my hometown. Do you want to show him?
No, I was gonna bring it up, and then I'm not trying to dox
me?
you, dude.
Oh, smart. Okay, I'll just describe the photo. Big overhead map of my city in Utah. And there's big quadrants drawn out, and they're different colors. One's red, one's green, one's blue. The rest is gray.
Are they like dated or?
What it is red and green, already installed, already available. You can start Google Fiber now.
Okay.
Dope. Zoom in. Blue means it's almost done. It's coming soon. Sick. I look where I live. Everything's blue. Hella dope. We zoom in. And DJ's like, where's your house? And I'm like, right in this blue area. And he's like, oh, what's your street again? And I'm like, I say my street. And literally 4 houses away from the blue area is my house. I'm not getting Google Fiber. I'm missing it by 4 houses.
And it's the only gray area in the entire map.
The entire
everywhere
map
around.
There's a small gray circle, and I live in that small gray circle.
Why the hell are they skipping that circle
I
Dude, the
screamed
Bermuda
out loud.
Triangle is now
over your house?
now over your house.
I texted that to MJ, my wife, and she just sent 60. Ha 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 ha. Because I literally have been talking about it nonstop. Even at my house, I like bring it up daily. I wake up and I'm like, we're getting Google Fiber. Like, it's the first thing I think about when I wake up because I'm so excited. Like, during the whole damn pandemic, I could barely watch Netflix because my internet is so bad.
Actually had to talk to each other while you're at home.
Let's draw a drawing on paper. Living like the Pilgrims. Anyway, my heart was like legitimately kind of shattered. I sat back in my chair and I was just like, I am so overwhelmingly sad that I was like, it was rough. DJ just
Dude, last time
pat me on the shoulder.
When's the last time you had bad or no internet?
Every day of
Sean
my
was,
life.
Sean was probably eating onion grass.
Yeah.
Probably, dude.
There's like pixelated Yetis on my TV.
I can remember when you'd click on a website and line by line it would load a photo.
Oh,
And you're just sitting there like,
you're like, what is
a
this going to be?
printer. Yeah. I remember that, bro. I was like 8 or 9. It'd be like that at my house today in 2022. So that sucks ass. And then DJ started Googling like, I'm just going to buy you a hotspot. Like, this is enough is enough.
Somebody asked in chat, can you explain what Google Fiber is?
Oh, Google Fiber is Google. So you know how there's internet providers. There's like Comcast, Foxtel or some shit.
What?
Viacom. I don't know. There's like different internet providers and you can choose provider plans. The US kind of has really crappy internet. And the better internet you have, the faster you can download things from the internet and upload things from the internet. And it's, as a content creator, you want the quickest internet as possible so that you can stream live.
Any normal human
lag.
wants the best internet.
But especially as a content creator. Like, no, that's not true. Normal humans like, I want to watch Netflix. So you can get by with like a phone hotspot.
If it streams well, then that's good internet.
Yeah. But you want really fast. And Google Fiber has really fast download speeds, really fast upload speeds. So it was like, and it's,
they're only in a few cities in America. They're starting to expand. They started a few years ago, and one of 3 cities was Provo, Utah. It was like Provo, Austin, and like Kansas City.
You want like to rub that in a little bit? The country with like the fastest internet right now is Liechtenstein.
Like they can Liechtenstein, dude. Why is that?
I don't know, dude. It's just like the fastest. Or they have it may be because it's a small country, but like top 3 is Iceland. Has like the fastest internet.
Because they have no one on their internet?
Like 80% of their entire country lives in probably 20 miles of Reykjavik.
Did you guys ever see that article that was like, sharks are attacking the internet.
I do remember seeing
Do you
that.
remember that, DJ?
The internet lines like in the South China Sea or something.
I never knew this, but the internet
runs through.
runs in cords on the
Yeah.
bottom of the ocean, and they're having a mad problem where sharks are like, I'm trying to eat that. So sharks were biting and like getting into the internet cables and like up our internet.
You're like, why am I in my city in Utah having such bad internet? Sharks.
Yeah. Make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. Coachella just happened. Did you guys tune in?
Sort of.
What does that mean?
Sean tunes in from a distance.
I tune in from a
Like
distance
across the room or what?
He looks up the Coachella map on Instagram.
and just
just
start watching
browses all the
Snapchat
thoughties.
stories.
Browses all the thoughties.
You weren't watching music. You were watching the real reason for Coachella.
I'm the
The real
nerd ass
reason
who's watching the music.
for
Though.
Coachella.
You're the loser now. DJ, do you want to talk about that? We saw a video that said Coachella is no longer a music festival.
It's a content farm
It's a content festival with music
in the
background.
It's pretty true.
Well, can you explain what that means?
I-
Because you went there.
Yeah, I went a few years ago. It was the last Coachella there was before the pandemic.
The last true Coachella.
Well, yeah, I walking around, dude, everyone's just taking pictures. Like half the festival is just hanging out, and the other half are at the stages, like listening to music. And it's crazy. I remember going to a set, seeing all these girls take because there's a ton of art installations at Coachella.
Right. Yeah.
And it's smart because when people can market your business, that's the best type of marketing.
So give them something to take a photo in front of.
exactly.
and
exactly.
free marketing.
Yeah. And I mean, even just being there and you throw in some cool art and then it makes your photos look cool. So I remember going to a set. Everybody that year, I don't know if they have it every year, but there was like this cactus installation, this huge, like colorful neon cacti. And coming back from the set, I saw the same group of girls still taking pictures there.
How long?
An hour-long set. dude.
Oh,
I don't know if they left and came back, but it was like, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, y'all paid $1,000. Just take pictures
in front of a cactus.
in front of a cactus. in
Let's go to the desert.
I know, damn. It's a crazy place. And even music fans have been hating Coachella for a while because they bring on all these mainstream acts. But it's like, come on. They got to get their bag somehow.
Yeah.
So bring
Yeah,
on like
it's
some of
true.
the popular ones. But if you're a music fan, dude, Coachella has a lot of good stuff there.
Really?
Yeah, super dope
They
stuff.
do have good music too.
There's a tent. Okay, so Coachella has like 8 or 9 stages going on at the same time. Every hour, bands and artists are switching out. Typical festival stuff. But there are like 3 stages that like people don't super know about.
Dude, they're
People
like
do.
the hipster of hipster.
Yeah, there's
Ooh.
like the Heineken, the Do Lab,
I know those.
and the Yuma. So the Heineken stage is like hidden.
Whoa.
The Do Lab is like in the back corner, and they drop a like their own lineup separate from like the regular lineup.
Oh.
And their headliners are secret. They tell you the day of, and they text it to whoever subscribes.
Is it mainly like DJs and stuff?
It's mainly DJs, yeah, at the Do Lab tent. And then the Yuma is also kind of tucked away, and nobody goes there unless you're like the people who go to the Yuma tent only go for the Yuma tent. Here, I have a video pulled up.
Also explain how hot Coachella is.
Dude, it's hot. California, which is one of the valleys, in Southern California. Super, super hot. Springtime, but spring in Visalia is what, hot already.
Balls hot.
Yeah.
And it's
Hot as
mad
balls.
dusty there. Like, I remember like at least a third of the people at Coachella were wearing masks.
Pre-pandemic.
Before it was cool.
They call it the Coachella lung because everyone walking around kicks up dirt and dust.
Ugh.
You have 1 million people there. So, yeah, you're just breathing all this dust. But the Yuma tent is probably the dopest venue I've ever been to, besides maybe Red Rocks.
I was gonna say it's gotta be doper than Red Rocks, dude.
It's like everyone. It's like electronic acts, and nobody gets on the mic. None of the DJs talk. They just play music, and they don't stop in between sets. They just continue. Like the next DJ hops on, and they transition over.
Crazy.
And the lights. The tent is closed and it's air conditioned, and the lights. Insane. Everybody in there is coked out. And
Hell yeah,
nice.
brother.
everyone's just focused on dancing. Here, let me pull up a video of
Just
it.
getting like one of those light finger shows, bro.
Look,
Look at these lights.
I wish it would show like the light bars, the lasers. They always got the disco shark up there, but big fire. I don't know. There's a lot of good music there. I remember when I went 3 years ago, I saw Rico Nasty, your favorite. And she brought on one of the special things about Coachella is everybody brings on special guests. It's like people will have songs that feature another artist, and Coachella's a place to bring on those features. So it's like you'll never see
These two together.
these two together perform together. So it's pretty amazing for music fans. But Rico Nasty brought on Doja Cat.
Ooh.
Oh.
This is before
And they
she really popped.
Tia Tamera.
Yeah.
Oh,
And now
damn.
Doja Cat was like right under the headliner on the bill now.
So Doja now is like top of the top.
Oh, yeah.
She's triple
Album of the
A-list.
year.
Yeah.
But she really back then, she was an internet meme.
The Moo song,
Yeah.
dude.
Bitch, I'm a cow. She like started as a meme.
So good.
Incredibly inspirational to us all.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
might say so.
I have that one saved.
Yeah, probably won't catch me at Coachella anytime.
I do
I think I passed
want to
that.
go like to some more musical events though.
Yeah.
Like I would love to go back to Red Rocks. That was sick.
Did y'all hear the masks are done on planes?
I heard about that today.
That's crazy.
That is wild. I just
Things
heard
are happening.
today people have to stop faking that they're eating for 5 hours.
What meme did you read that from? I funny. I not funny.
Can I ask an honest question?
What do you think?
Yes,
Sure.
maybe.
So
Uh-oh.
why would you, if like the CDC is saying you don't have to wear masks, why would you continue wearing masks?
I think it's a very complicated answer. And I think there's many different reasons.
Because at the beginning it was like follow the CDC.
Yeah.
And it's like sure. And then now the CDC is like no. I'm like no. We're going to continue.
It's hard to talk about this without like, because first of all, who knows? This is me just speculating, right?
Yeah. And it's hard
None of
to
us are
talk about.
specialists. We're all dumb.
It's hard to talk about a lot of things without getting canceled, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think specifically talking about this is a hot topic on Twitch and or.
Oh, that's true.
But I don't know. We haven't said the magic words that get you banned.
Yeah, I'm not trying to push on anything. This is an honest, open question.
I don't judge anyone who does because we all have beliefs and we all have our reasons for believing them. Mormons don't drink coffee. Do you know what I mean? That's dumb.
No.
So it's like to each their own. I think a lot of it is because fear. And here's something. You've done this for the last 2 years. You've judged other humans for not doing it. You've morally judged those humans saying like they are literally trying to kill grandma because they're not wearing a mask. So you've built this beast up in your mind, an enemy that you can morally judge and put yourself above. And then all of a sudden you're being told, no, it's very hard to like separate yourself from those beliefs
That's true.
to admit that maybe some of your beliefs were wrong. And then to like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I was trying to kill grandma.
I think that's a part of it. Another part of it is who knows? Maybe those people still live with someone who's sick or susceptible or old.
That's possible.
You don't think the CDC took that into account though?
Well, here's the thing. Does
Like if we trust them, like they should have taken that into account.
Okay, here's something too.
but we don't trust them.
I still see a lot of people with face masks on their, Tinder and Bumble profiles. And at this point, I'm like, you're trying to hide something.
Sean has a different lens. Sean's single. So yeah, they're like, bro, I was a lot hotter during the pandemic because you couldn't see 85% of my face. And they were trying to hold on to that. I get that.
That could be, yeah.
Don't you think no, how do you make rules for 300 million people or 7 billion? I guess CDC is only making rules for America. So 300 million. Is it 30 million or 300? How much is in the US?
I'd say 300.
300.
So you're right.
Closer to 300. than
How
300.
do you make rules for 300? There's outliers. I think
You can't.
you can't.
Yeah. You kind of do have to take like the path for the weakest link
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like people that are at risk,
Yeah.
not like.
I'm not saying that's okay.
Yeah.
Like for yeah.
And I don't fully know what the CDC's standing is currently. Like, are they saying people who are at risk should continue to wear masks?
All I saw was just like a bunch of stuff today that was like, oh, no more masks on planes or stuff like that.
Chat, do any of you know?
Yeah, let us know.
Anyway, I feel like
here's the thing too, though. Like, I hardly wore a mask because I never see anybody, but I also never got it. So
Sean sees like 8 people a year.
Like, I'll just go out into the woods in the mountains and be like, why am I not getting it?
Also, y'all see that one? Dude, we don't take COVID lightly. We don't think it's funny.
No, absolutely not.
And someone left us a review and was like, these assholes. First of all, I'm going to get to a point. These assholes think COVID is funny. You guys.
1 star.
Get vaxxed. 1 star. None of you guys are vaxxed. All 3 of us are vaxxed. We had COVID.
I technically didn't.
I know I have personal family members who passed from COVID. None of us think COVID is funny.
We spent a whole episode talking about my COVID experience.
DJ literally almost died from COVID.
That person probably is never going to listen again. So
yeah, but go yourself, that person. Here's where I have the issue. They made a ton of assumptions and they made a moral judgment, which I think is odd to do. And here's why. When you make a moral judgment on a person, I believe you're opening yourself up to being morally judged, right? Is that fair or is that not fair?
I think it should be able to go both ways, unless like the judgment is going on something that's like malicious
or universal. Yeah, if you're not hurting anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good bylaw or like factor to put in. Because here's my thought. Someone might be like, I can't believe you wear Nike because they use child labor. And that makes you a piece of shit.
Like you support the child labor.
As I text on my iPhone. And that's like my biggest thing is like, don't make moral judgments on a human because you yourself are not without fault. Is that stupid?
No.
That might be a little stupid.
No. I would say that I'm not going to judge anybody because then they can judge me. And people are already judging me anyways. I'm just not a judgmental person. So
I don't know. But I'm trying to find fault in my own logic. I think there is something to it. Like that person thought because we crack jokes and that's how we deal with like things that we were somehow like, I'm glad people are dying.
See,
you know
but
what I mean?
here's the other issue there is that potentially this kind of person or this person specifically is like, you can't react that way when there's this whole thing right now about you have to call me a specific way and say I'm a specific something because I'm reacting in a certain way to what you say to me.
Okay, so I think what you're kind of saying is like, because I believe something, you have to buy into my belief.
Essentially, that's what they're saying.
I know. And I don't think that goes all the way because if you go with that logic, it's like, okay, well, I believe that no one should do this. Therefore, no one's allowed to. It's, you know what I'm saying?
I believe that my coping mechanism is humor.
Yeah. I don't know. Chat, I am actually honestly interested. Can you help me pick holes in my argument? Because obviously we need to make judgments going throughout our life, right? You need to make decisions. You need to make judgments based on the data that you have. I guess what I'm saying is when you venture into the area of making moral judgments on other humans for the choices that, as long as they're not hurting people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I should have thought about this more. I did not expect to bring this up on pod. This is kind of a deep subject. And I'm being vulnerable. I could be an idiot and I would be open to being told that. I would just like to be told why or help me understand why.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't just be an idiot.
Yeah,
there has to be a reason behind it.
I think the point I'm making is very crude, but I think there's something to it. So I'm open to the idea of like refining it.
Okay. Makes sense. Chat, help us refine it.
Yeah. It depends on what you're judging, I think. Yeah, it all depends. I guess it's just like, it's odd that I think as humans, we need to step away from morally judging other humans for doing things that aren't harming other humans.
that
Just
aren't aligned with the way we believe.
Or if you do choose to accept to like judge, like you have to be open to the criticism, like coming back as well. Like,
That's
it's
better.
okay. I think judging is perfectly fine. If it's done in good spirit and if it's done in good spirit and if you're not closed off to it.
if you're willing to get judged too.
Yeah.
And I think like getting more comfortable with the idea of disagreeing and being okay.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
also true.
I grew up in a religion and all my siblings grew up in the same religion. And now most of my siblings don't share those views. And we're all adults now. So we're like learning to love each other, accept each other. And we don't believe the same thing. And we can do that because we have the bond of siblings. But that's like very hard to do outside.
Yeah, it's not allowed outside.
Well, just like
you can't get
if they're-
along and disagree.
Yeah. But I know you're like joking, but it's also like kind of true.
Kind of true.
Anyway, this is not a TED Talk. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Unless you guys have anything else to share.
Nope.
I think I'd love to have our listener base be wildly different. I don't want people who are in the same
Can I tell you a secret?
belief system.
It hella is. Because we follow a ton of our listeners on IG, and I will be clicking through stories, and it's just like the most right wing thing I've ever seen in my life. Click
Like,
next,
straight up,
the most left wing thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm just like, this is dope. I love this.
This is the common ground.
Yeah.
3 a.m. scary stories.
There's something to that.
Well,
that's-
are we Kendall Jenner with the Pepsi? No, seriously. With some of our listeners, like we'll see like Blue Lives Matter stuff, and then we'll see Black Lives Matter stuff, and then in the next post, and
No lives matter.
It's just no lives and all
super
lives.
nihilistic, sad.
Yeah, and meaning to everything. It's I'd like to have more of that, and I don't know.
I'd be okay with it.
Here's the thing: I think you can state your opinion and like just be subject to change. Like I don't like anything I say. I think is subject to change. Like we're all results of our experiences. So whatever it is I learn, like my opinion can change, and that's okay. So just whatever I say now, just know that I'm like figuring it out.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm like putting my foot down
This
and
is 100%
saying this is
the way it's going to
absolute.
be.
True. Yeah. Oh, dude. I appreciate that.
Embrace change.
And maybe even saying this is pandering. Going back to what I was saying earlier, like saying we want everyone, we want to include
But
everyone.
we kind of do. Like when we started this, it's like we wanted stories from different cultures. And I do think spooky transcends.
It does.
'Cause there's
Spooky and
experience-
food.
Yeah. There's experiences everyone has. And it just kind of like you could be talking to your racist uncle at Thanksgiving. And if they start telling a spooky story
And
where
everyone's
they saw,
just like sitting around
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like-
circle, like, yo,
yeah,
this story.
you want to hear. So I think there is something to it. Amen, brother. Hard R. Thank you,
Let's
sis.
go.
Shout out, Brittany. Guys, do you have any examples of people meaning well, but making situations just 1,000 times worse?
I need an example.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. Like
You clearly have something you want
Let
to
me
talk
go
about.
first.
no, this is just a random thought I had one day as I was preparing for tonight. No, I don't know. Just like your mom or dad, like trying to wingman
Oh,
you, but just like
shit.
making it way worse. And you're like, stop.
I
What?
do have one.
What? Let's hear it.
Okay, so I served a mission in the Philippines.
Nice.
A week and a half before I'm supposed to go home, there's this giant conference. And I'm sitting in the back, just like I'm leaving. I'm good to go. Trunky, as we might say,
Yeah.
ready to go. And my mission president, the guy who's in charge of all the missionaries in the region, gets up to give a talk, like a speech. And before he starts, he's like, Elder Gasaway. And I'm all the way in the back. He's like, could you stand up? And I was like, no, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And he's like, Elder Gasaway is just finishing his 2-year mission and is going home next week. And I just wanted everyone to see.
That sounds fine to me.
Sounds fine.
What's wrong with that?
So many mothers hit me up right after that. Please be engaged to my daughter. Take my daughter home with you.
So where did it go wrong?
Actually,
Yeah.
I should have just taken that sign right then and there. I'd be good to go at this point.
No, I know what you're saying though. Like he thought he was like honoring
Giving
you,
me a shout out.
and really he was like,
I had to get out of there fast.
yeah. Sean had to like swat away $1 million. Filipinos trying to get married to him. Filipinos.
After spending 2 years swatting mosquitoes.
And for that, I'm still being cursed because I turned it all down.
God's like, I gave you a boat. And you denied her.
Gosh damn it, you're right.
That's a funny example. I was hoping maybe it would jog some more of our memories. I have I'm trying to think if anyone comes to mind, but go ahead and click on the article.
I already got it.
Okay. Do you want to read us the title?
Yeah. So, woman pepper sprayed man taking photos of his own children in Arlington.
What?
So this woman sees this guy and he's just taking photos of these kids. And she's like, I am about to become Batman and protect these children. So she just comes to the conclusion it's a stranger, doesn't know these kids. And if you read the article, it's hilarious. It goes, woman runs up, pepper sprays man, and then runs away.
She doesn't even help the kids.
No, she just leaves the kids with the man who she thinks
violence,
is a stranger.
not even vigilante.
She chose violence.
Safe, yeah.
Dude, she's more Joker than Batman.
Oh,
Chaos.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to help the situation. I'm going to save the day.
Bro, she just wanted to see if her pepper spray worked at that point.
Yeah. So it's like, I get your intention, but you missed the mark.
We need some backstory. They probably knew each other. He had done something to her, just probably cut her off on the freeway.
Well, the article says she believed the man didn't know the children.
Yeah, she just came to that conclusion. Much like that one guy who gave us a 1-star review. He's like, these assholes are not vaxxed. You, dude. We're all double vaxxed in this bitch.
Me with my oxygen tank.
Yeah, he just F you.
Dies.
Yeah. I got this from Ask Reddit. If you had a firearm, this is just a joke in a video game. If you had a firearm pointed at your head and they said, sing one song word for word perfect or you die, what song are you guys choosing?
Around the World, Daft Punk is the only right answer.
Okay, what are the words?
Around the world, around the world. Dude, honest answer, probably Gold Digger on your West.
Whoa! Oh shit, dude.
But would you say every word?
Cutie the bomb.
Would you say every word?
Under her underarm. She said, "You gonna make me say this whole rap?"
No. You know what word I'm talking about? Brother.
Oh, brother.
DJ starts sweating as he's getting closer to the word. It's my life or cancellation.
Ultimate cancellation.
DJ's like, I choose death.
No, that is the ultimate cancellation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went
life.
super dark, bro. I'm do it.
You can't think of one song.
I mean, I could. I'm just you would make. You're putting me out of misery.
Bro,
at this
finish
point.
your words, dog. Can't even finish a sentence. You about to get shot, boy.
What about the ABCs?
Happy birthday, dog.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
ABC. I was thinking ABCs, but then I was like, would they go with the old ABCs or the updated ABCs? Do you know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday's chain or
Damn.
stayed the same.
That's way better than mine. I'm trying to think of the actual song. It's like A Sandstorm by Darude.
Yeah. What's that one song
No
by
words.
Chris Brown and that one big dude, Busta Rhymes? Then I gotta go.
Ladies love me.
What song is that?
I'm on my cool.
Ding, 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 ding. Y'all can't even get in.
Yeah.
Every time I gotta get it, then I gotta go, then I gotta blit.
Why? Why'd you bring up that song? We're clearly not singing that
because you would
one.
die. Yeah, it would be really hard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You're choosing hard songs.
Bro, just any Christmas song. Because my family goes caroling every year, and those things are stuck.
Valid.
Dude, Silent Night, Jingle Bells,
Thank you.
Rudolph.
Thank you for the illustration of Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Those are the easy ones.
What else? No, I thought that was a fun question. It's what song do you absolutely know? I would be nervous choosing any song because your life's on the line.
That reminds me of that Childish stand up? Somebody comes up to you in the street and it's shit yourself or you die.
I would
die because I can't just shit on command.
Dude, that's not a world I want to live in where people are sticking each other up. Next question. When I say the word, okay, we're going to do
Word
association exercise. So I'm going to say a word and be very careful. What's the first word that comes to your mind or the first thought?
Okay.
Ready? Clear your brain. Minecraft.
Nerds.
Squares.
click on that article, DJ, and read us what this is. This
very loose term for article.
Okay,
takes me to Reddit.
Real quick, this article or title, a train wreck from the Okay, read it.
Jason Momoa to star in Minecraft movie for Warner Bros.
What the? What?
Dude.
This is a live action remake?
Jason Momoa to star in Minecraft movie coming out.
Oh my gosh, I hate
That's hilarious.
So obviously, Minecraft, Momoa is what you guys were supposed
negative.
to say.
No,
Minecraft, Aquaman.
Aquaminecraft. Bro, the director for this is Jared Hess.
I thought it was Christopher Nolan. Who's Jared Hess?
Jared Hess did a Napoleon Dynamite.
Stanley Kubrick.
Back from the dead. He filmed this before he passed.
Jared Hess did Napoleon Dynamite, so I was right. Squares. And nerds. like Sean said.
Yeah, everyone's right in the room. No one was wrong. No, any thoughts? Are we going to go see it?
I'm not going to go see it, dude.
Is it going to be like the Emoji Movie where it's just a complete like money grab train wreck?
Oh, just Pixel?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Pixel.
are they going to go like Safdie Brothers, like take it serious, hardcore drama?
Could be. I don't.
It's going to be like the
if
Room,
it's Jared
dog.
Hess, it's going to be very
Just
like low hanging fruit comedy.
Let's be
I
honest.
think.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm who are the Polynesian, like famous Polynesian actors? We have The Rock.
The dude who plays Boba Fett,
We have Jason.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi is like the only one holding it down for us. Everyone else is just doing like shitty movies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like grossing movies because The Rock still like puts up numbers.
Yeah, The Rock is still killing it.
I mean, yeah, he's putting down numbers, but so does McDonald's. That doesn't like speak to the quality of what they do.
McDonald's quality is tip top for what
You
they
better
do.
make shut up.
Their
over there.
fries, dog. Dude. Unless you want ice cream, you'll have to wait.
Okay, last thing. Speaking of like money grabs and like trying to appeal to everyone, there's been a couple times throughout, and chime in if you can think of any, where celebrities have been caught faking or fibbing or lying.
Jussie Smollett.
That's one of them.
Actors have been caught acting. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm talking like Ashley Simpson singing on SNL. Did you ever know about that? So there's Jessica.
I thought we're talking about like good
and
go ahead.
scandals and shit.
Yeah.
Or anything. There's like Ashley Simpson, Jessica Simpson's younger sister. She was coming up fast, dude. Quick on the singing career, and she lands a spot on SNL, which back in the day, back in the 2000s, was a big deal. Now it's a laughing stock, not for the right reasons. They're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you. Anyway, Ashley Simpson is the musical guest on SNL, and while she starts singing, her track starts skipping.
No.
Proving that she's just lip syncing, which was way more of a big deal back in the day.
So straight up the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Is it? Don't know. I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Oh.
When they're like in Italy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she starts like kind of dancing goofily and then like yuck goes off stage. Her career died that night. She never recovered. I'm dead serious.
Didn't they all lip sync back then?
Yeah, but I think they
90s,
lied.
2000s?
They lied and said it wasn't. I think that they were still trying to like
Pass it off.
yeah. So I'm telling you, her career died that night. Like it stopped. Even before that, there was a famous act called Milli Vanilli. You ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
They were like in the 80s and 90s. They were huge. They were popping off. It's two black dudes, beautiful. They sang. And during a live performance, the track starts skipping.
Ooh.
People find out they're lip syncing and their career dies. So what I'm saying is I don't know if that energy continues today.
Dude, these guys look crazy.
Milli
bro.
Vanilli? Dude, they're hot, brother.
I need to show this to chat, bro. This is hilarious.
What the?
Dude,
Milli Vanilli?
gorgeous gentleman.
Bro, this is like Black Matrix. So they were caught doing it as well.
Dudes, someone said, y'all ever heard Casey and JoJo perform live? Please tell me that they're good live, because I love me some Casey and JoJo. But anyway, my point is, I don't think that same energy continues today.
Oh no, straight up
I
like
feel like
rappers
everyone is like,
just like jump around on stage while they just
Lazily.
play their track with
Uh,
all the vocals on it.
remember when Lil Wayne came out like he was a guitarist and he was just like ding 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 ding, and it was like everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Can you click the last video? So this surprised me when I saw this because this is the exact opposite of what I've been
Oh
saying.
no.
Okay, pause. Okay, you got to pull this
oh
up.
no, dude.
Damn it! Someone said Casey and JoJo was not good, and that's just
Dang it.
heartbreaking. Okay, so
The GOAT right here, dude.
I can't stand DJ Khaled.
okay,
man.
play this. He's
Such a
okay.
big-ass
Here's the
joke.
buildup. He's gifted this guitar from the Bob Marley estate, dude.
Oh.
Think of Bob Marley. How influential was Bob Marley? What did Bob Marley stand for? DJ Khaled is like, I need to capitalize on this and show the world that I truly care and that this means a lot to me. So this is what he does.
Get a close up, get a close up, get a close up of the case, the guitar. You know what I'm saying? And a special note from the Marley family.
My boy can't even read.
Listen,
Can't read.
Can you read this for me? Can you read this to the world, please?
Okay. DJ Khaled, we're excited to share this new guitar with you. As someone who has an appreciation for
He can't even turn the music off in the background.
music, we want you to be one of the first to play the Gilded 20 Marley. based
Here we
on
go.
Bob's at-home songwriting guitar from 56 Hope Road.
Unite the world.
This guitar-inspired song
Inspiration.
Hope, Unite the World, and
Okay, pause. Bob Marley died again. As someone who can actually play the guitar, thoughts, DJ?
Dreadful. I hate DJ Khaled so much, man. He's like the epitome of Hollywood that has money but like no direction. It's just I don't know. It's just have you seen him play at EDC?
Where he gets like booed.
Yeah, he gets.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. He his
My
set,
ears. Sorry, chat. That was really loud.
the set he was playing was he'd play like 20 seconds of like a super hype track, and he'd be like, "Come on, sing the words," and then spin that back, DJ, bring that back, and then play another song. He did that for like an hour straight, where he's just playing 20-second snippets of songs, spin back on the decks, and then play a new song. And it's like, dude, what do you do? What exactly do you do?
Nothing.
Dude, how come we aren't as successful as DJ Khaled?
Okay, but here's the thing. Do you think he thought he was playing some hot shit?
I don't know.
Do you think he thought?
Well, people have been
Okay.
thinking about this since he started Snapchat, because he was popping off on Snapchat. That's how he came back into
Here's
relevance.
the keys.
Yeah, here's the major keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know,
The
man.
conspiracy theory is he might actually know
Like
what he's doing.
method, performance art, method acting.
Yeah, like
almost.
playing into the character of DJ Khaled. Like, I'm so dumb. I'm such an idiot.
with all this
And
money.
I'm saying this ridiculous shit.
and we're talking about it right now.
And we're talking about it right now. So, do you think Khaled knows, or he thinks do you think he's genuine?
I think most people do know and are putting on an act, but with him, I think he's genuinely, dude.
I was going to say,
with
I feel like recently I've seen a lot of people who just are fully bought into themselves, meaning that he thinks he's hot shit
Yeah.
when he's actually dog shit.
Here's another theory. I think he could have started as pretty self-aware and just now is in full delusion land. Because like if you
It can get to your head, yeah.
if you're winning that much, it's like who is to tell you you're wrong? Because obviously monetarily he's not wrong. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But like us broke asses in a podcast are making moral judgments on him. No, I'm just kidding. Which I said you shouldn't do.
I guess we're open to moral judgments
Damn it,
now.
I'm a hypocrite. No, but I think he is not self-aware. That's my theory. My absolute favorite DJ Khaled story arc is when he got lost on his
The jet ski.
Dude, there is a super famous, like you said, he popped off on Snapchat. Super famous Snapchat like story progression where it's like everything, or what does he always say?
Major key.
Major keys. Like, we did
How's
it.
business?
And he's like on his jet
Booming.
ski and he's like, yeah, let's do this. And he's like riding on my jet ski. And the next thing it's like dark and he's like, I got lost. And he's like in the Miami harbor, like on his jet ski in the dark.
Dude,
It's so
him
funny.
dancing too.
Let's
He's
see.
acting a
Pulling
fool.
up.
Oh,
it's
no,
it's
dude.
just so bad.
It is so bad.
It's I don't know, man.
DJ Khaled.
It's weird. To me, it's like, are some people just like not embarrassed? Is it like what? Where's the line between confidence and like unaware?
Well, I think that is the crossing the line. We've officially crossed it. DJ Khaled.
I found it. This one. Let's go.
Damn.
You loyal.
Damn, now I feel like a bully.
I take it back. I take everything back. The man is a genius.
So,
Dude, we don't know what we're talking about. That man is
so
a-
if he is
damn genius.
genuinely unaware and we're just talking about it, does that make us bullies?
Oh no. We're the bad guys.
We're the baddies. Or-
1 star.
Yeah.
That unvaccinated asshole. Damn, we are. We got some reflection. Bro, I can't believe I preached for an hour at the beginning of this pod and then we just ended this segment by bullying someone.
Yeah. By turning around on our words.
Damn.
That's okay.
Okay, we're learning too, guys. We're learning too. This is a scary stories podcast where we tell scary stories
Yeah.
as well.
Wait, real quick.
Do you have one more?
Real quick on that. It's crazy that there's a lot of people who can reach a level of fame where it doesn't matter what you do, like you're still relevant.
Yeah. And if anything, like the harder you play into ridiculousness, it only benefits you.
Yeah, you're like rewarded
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah. It's we've talked briefly on it before, but it's like the clout game. And it's like a super at some point, the only point is to have more people talk about you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter positive or negative, really, at the end of the day. I don't know.
You know how and maybe you feel this way, Sean. I've heard a lot of like sports fans say this, frame it this way, but a lot
Why
of,
don't you
especially
rephrase that to me? Why just Sean?
Oh, I don't know, dog. But in sports, a lot of people, especially in the States, very interested in like collegiate level because they're trying to go pro. So they're playing their best. People will say like on the college level, way more competitive, way more exciting. Is that true in some aspects?
I would say in some aspects.
Have you heard people say that?
I've heard people say that, and even myself have thought specifically like college football versus NFL. I've always thought, I
Yep.
feel like these guys are playing much harder
because they have
More to
something
lose,
live
more
for.
to gain.
and they're not like playing for a paycheck and trying not to get hurt.
Mhm.
I haven't really watched like regular season basketball in college, but then when you get to March Madness, everyone's playing their heart out.
Mm.
So like you can say that at least with tenacity there for sure, it's win or you go home. But then again, I feel like sometimes it's just like specific people too.
Yeah.
And some people are just lazy.
Yeah. I feel similarly with like a lot of media. So like music and
In
even
what way?
movies. It's like you have all these franchises putting out these blockbuster films. And it's like you have 20 years of like this singular franchise. And I don't know, some of them are shitty. We have Morbius that's out.
They
right
start
now,
playing it safe.
you know, and it's like, bro, none of this is risky. No one's like trying, you know, for anything. So like even like Coachella, we were talking. Like the undercard is where all the excitement is. Like all the people who are not the headliners. Like headliners are great and they've earned their spot there. But there's a lot of artists under there who are like still trying to make it
Hungry.
I see what
still
you're
hungry,
saying.
doing
Yeah.
it for the craft, and like because of that, it breeds like a way more polished product instead of something that's like I already got my bag, so I can do whatever I want.
So yeah, there's a balance between being hungry, being driven, and comfort, and securing. You know what I mean?
There's also like in very specific cases, like people who are at the top who are still hungry.
Yes.
Like a
Yeah.
Tom Brady and
That's
football.
the trick. You have to
Like-
try to maintain. Like there's an artist named David Cho. one of the dopest graffiti artists come out of San Francisco area, LA area, Korean kid, crazy backstory, crazy life. But he quickly realized if he was comfortable, his drive would be gone. So Mans, literally, how he made millions and millions of dollars is he did a mural for Facebook, and Facebook said, we'll give you 30 racks or we'll give you a percentage in this company. And at the time, they were a small company. And he goes, I don't give a shit about money. Give me, because like any starving artist would be like, give me 30 racks right now.
Yeah.
But he was like, whatever, I don't care. Give me a percentage. Got the percentage. Facebook blows the F up and boy makes like 18 mil, like that, something like that. Anyway, so he's all of a sudden insanely rich. But he recognized if I'm comfortable, I'm not creative. So he got an apartment, ripped out like the AC, got rid of his mattress and slept on concrete because he was like, I'm trying to be uncomfortable. I want to be hungry. I gotta want this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah, you do have outliers.
They're very few
Michael Jordan had to make up
reasons
stories
to-
in his head. That man said something about me and my family. I hate him. I'm going to go to war with them. And then they asked him, why did he say that? When did he say that? And he goes,
like,
I just made that shit up because he needed to like fuel his psycho. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, the trick is to be like that outlier,
Be psycho.
essentially.
Let's be psycho, dude.
Wow. I can't wait to sell out.
Hey.
Bro. Travel Channel comes to
close.
us. Discovery is like, boys, we need you to ghost hunt. We're going to give you $1 million. You just got to like
You just gotta
be furries. Your boy's going to be a furry. I will meow. You know what I'm saying?
Spread them, boys.
Yeah, woof, woof, baby. Yeah, in a heartbeat. I'm trying to get comfy, boy. We tell scary stories on this podcast. In order to determine what order we tell our stories, we roll a 20-sided die. Highest number goes first, so on and so forth. And the roll?
Shit.
15, 10.
1.
Okay, so the order is Charlie, Sean, DJ. Let's do this. Today at work. Actually, over the weekend, I got a text from a coworker. And the text said, I have a buddy. You need to hear his story. Here's his number. I reach out to that friend and said, yo, I hear you have a story. Let me hear it. And he goes, I do. I'm just a little nervous sharing. And I basically gave him the same invitation we give to all of our listeners. Share your story with us if you are comfortable.
Right.
If you're not, that's okay. It's up to you. You know what I mean? We're not pressuring anyone to share their story.
But like silently, I get that feeling that it's a really good one. If they're like, I don't know.
So we'll go on throughout the day. I'm working. I'm chatting with DJ. I'm in the corner. And that tip came from one of my coworkers. And I happened to mention it. And that coworker left the room. And another coworker who's friends with that guy was like, I know what story he's talking about. I was there when he heard it.
What?
And he's very solemn.
Oh, no.
And I was like, really? Is it good? Like, what are your thoughts? Can you give me a gist? Like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it after hearing it. And he said, when I was there, this is what happened when he heard the story. When he said, first of all, I think I'm a pretty sensitive person. Not like I cry easy, but I can feel when there's darkness present. He said, I've had pretty strong experiences with visitations from family members who have passed on. And I've had experiences where I believe I've looked evil in the face in a literal sense. And he said, while that story was being shared, I felt evil present. And in my mind's eye, I saw a figure in the room with us. It was so bad. He's like, I left. And I got a text shortly after, and everyone who heard the story left.
What the?
Then I was thinking, man, do we have a moral obligation to be careful about the stories we share? Because I don't want to invite true evil into any of our listeners' lives or our lives. So, do we draw a line and decide that for our listeners? Or do we share in hopes that it might help and they draw the line? Do you know what I'm saying?
Are you asking us right now, or are you going through your thought process?
Both. That was my thought process, but I invite you to chime in if you have thoughts.
I tend to give a disclaimer because I'm crossing whatever line somebody has.
True, lines are different.
Lines are different.
Yeah, there's no way for like a creator to meet everyone's needs, and like a creator ceases to be creator when somebody else is like calling the shots. So I think just like we wouldn't tell a director what to do, and a director can be wrong and make a shitty product. But the director of a movie can also make something, and people can decide if they want to watch that movie or not. And the people who won't, that's okay. People who do, like, they'll get what they want out of it. So
DJ's right.
I was going to say, I think the best way is just, if you feel like it could, give them a disclaimer.
Disclaimer. And the reason why I want to be a little more reverent with this story is this story caused someone involved to have to go to therapy for like 3 years. But I won't be sharing that story tonight. I'll be sharing that hopefully in the future. My story tonight comes to us from another viewer, another listener. This listener hit us up, slid right into our IG DMs, and shared her story. So I'm going to give her an alias because I haven't heard back from her whether or not I could share her name. And we're going to call her C.
Okay.
I'm going to call her CC because I can. CC grew up, lives in Utah. I won't say which town, small town in Utah. Grew up a member of the church. This happened about 9 years ago when she was late adolescence, early adulthood. She's like experiencing, and this is how I imagine it, she's experiencing freedom for the first time. She's working, she's, going out, experiencing life, partying, doing things. Right?
I'm just letting you know while you tell this story, I'm just feeling very cheated.
I feel hurt and wrong. No, I did that on purpose.
I know.
Because I'm a bad
Blue balling all of us. Chat is pissed right now.
Good. Okay. So she says, Cece says herself, and she says she's heard us talk on the podcast about how we have a theory about how, and once again, I'm not saying this because I'm a square and I think like I'm a straight edge, like don't do drugs. I do have a theory that has been backed up by occult text that's like, if you partake of certain substances, you may or may not be leaving yourself more open or susceptible to entities out there who are looking to prey on weakened people or people in altered states.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah. She said, when I listened to a couple of your guys' episodes and you talked about that a couple times, I have a story that relates to that. So this is while she was like early adulthood, late teens. She starts doing things that she feels are not right. Partying, drinking, things like that. She didn't notice it at first, that anything had changed or become different until one day her mom just like very casually, very honestly was just like, "Hey, sweetie, are you depressed?" She said it was more like funny. It struck her as funny at the time because it just seemed odd and out of place. Because in her mind, she's like, "No, I'm not depressed." But just having her mom ask that stuck in her mind. So moving forward, she said she started experiencing something she didn't necessarily ever experience before. And it started very scarcely or few and far between. And that was in her mind's eye, in her imagination, blurry at first. Mainly when she was alone, she would just get a flash of an image. And the image, blurry, kind of dark in the beginning, was like a field or yard with trees and shrubs, trees in the foreground, and a tree line kind of far off. And in the tree line, she would see there was a figure just standing there. She said, if you've ever seen the movie Sinister.
Oh, yeah.
Where I believe there's an old photo and it's very similar, like trees. And way off in the trees, there's just an image or a figure. She said, when she started seeing that in her mind, like, and then saw the movie, she was like, that's the closest thing I could say. It just reminded me of that.
Oh, I don't like that.
I tried looking for the image. I couldn't find it. Sorry.
Oh, the one from Sinister?
Yeah.
Bagul?
Yeah. I tried looking for the specific one she was talking about, but I couldn't find it. But so just imagine. She said it would happen when she was alone. She would just see this same field, trees, tree in the background, and a figure in the trees.
No.
At first it was blurry, but And at first it was very seldom, but its occurrence was just getting more and more clear.
This is like when
and
she's
clear.
sleeping or just
throughout
like
her day.
Interesting.
Yeah. She said it would just like be a flash in her mind. Slowly, she starts realizing the figure is a woman, a dark face, crazy hair, and wearing like almost old-fashioned clothing. She wore an old pleated black skirt with a blouse, and it looked like it belonged in the 1890s. Very specific, but that's what she said. At least that was the vibe I was getting. I couldn't see her face or get any other specific details about her appearance. This image would pop up very seldom when it first started, maybe once every 6 months. So very seldom.
But like enough to where the next time that it happened, she would recognize that it was the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And generally, it would pop up when I was alone. After a few years of this and not really paying much attention to it, things started to get more interesting. Because she realized that the lady was getting closer.
This is very also Insidious vibes.
Oh.
Because you have the one character that continually gets closer, and it's a woman in a black dress.
Is that Insidious 2?
Well, they go into more history in
Oh, okay.
Insidious 2, but it's in Insidious.
Sure. Yeah, very similar. She realized that the woman started out way in the tree line and is making her way slowly closer. It starts happening way more frequently. At some point, she's going along, she's making all these choices. She said her relationship with her family and especially her mom gets way more estranged. They stop having like meaningful conversations and it's barely like interacting very littly. And she didn't realize it at the time, but she was going down a path that at this point in life, she looking back knows was not where she was meant to be. Drugs, bad friends, bad things. I started having issues with sleep paralysis. She had had this experience a couple times growing up, but never like this. It started like the flash, seldom, but got to the point where she was anxious to go to bed because of how often it was happening. And with her sleep paralysis, if you don't know what sleep paralysis is, go look it up. I'm sure our listeners by this point do. She would experience it in just an immense pressure and suffocation. So her eyes wouldn't open. She wouldn't see something in the room. Her eyes would stay closed, but she could not for the life of her breathe. And it just felt like she was on the verge of death as far as like not being able to breathe. And as she's in the pits and the depths of like, all she could think of is, if I could get someone to touch me, shake me, anything, help me break out of this. And so it was a constant battle. And then wake up. And she said she would wake up and she's in this fear where it's like, if I go back to bed, I might not wake up. Because I am not breathing for what feels like minutes at a time. So she's going through this, losing sleep, not wanting to sleep, sleeping less, avoiding sleep.
Which probably doesn't help.
No. She works her job at a store. I believe she works in a deli. She's working a lot of hours, probably late or even early hours. I don't know. But one of these times she's like passing through the house. She comes home. She looks over and she sees her mom asleep on the couch. And she's about to go through the room when she hears a tiny looks over at her mom and she realizes her mom's sleeping on the couch, but her mom is like tense, twitching. And as she looks closer to mom, she kind of realizes like, I think she has sleep paralysis. Like she's in sleep. Walks up to her mom and puts her hand on her mom and her mom, oh my gosh, thank you. Like,
I thought you were going to say that's not her mom.
And her mom turns and it's the woman.
That's what I was thinking.
DJ was scared for a second. No, but even more frightening, her mom, and she says, sweetie, thank you. I was so weird. I've been having so many sleep paralysis lately.
Damn, remember when I had that dream where I was screaming and my roommate just films me laughing?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to put this on Vine.
I'm pissed, dude.
Yeah.
Instead of going over and shaking, you awake.
Bro, you okay?
Dickhead.
So unlike your shitty roommate, Cece saves her mom, and her mom kind of reveals to her, I've been having a lot of sleep paralysis lately. And since when? She asked mom. Mom tells her when. Quick math in her head, and she's like, holy shit. That's like when I started having it. So Cece is thinking, okay, this is concerning. Something else might be going on.
Right.
Keep in mind the image of the woman clearer and clearer, more often, closer and closer, right? She says now she can see the woman pretty clearly. She said dark sunken eyes, gaping black mouth, and her hair is going straight out.
Oh, that's like lights
Almost
out.
like it's in the water, but she's not in the water.
That's like lights out.
It is like
right?
lights out. Dude, maybe this person just has an active imagination, seen every scary thing.
That's terrifying.
Anyway, this happened a couple times. She said she told me that she hadn't had this issue for a super long time and suddenly started dealing with it quite frequently about the same time that I was. I thought this was odd until they talked to her sister, who has at this point moved out of the house. Catching up, how are you doing? How's life? And her sister said, great, great, great. Except like, I haven't been getting really good sleep lately. And Cece goes, why? It's the weirdest thing. I haven't really experienced this for a long time, but I'm getting super bad and intense sleep paralysis. The blood drains from Cece's face. You know, she's like, shit, something's going on. She said, something's happening to us. Is it a hereditary sort of issue? I don't know. I don't know what the conclusion is. Like, what's going on? After the sleep paralysis, the nightmares start happening.
Oh, no.
She said she never dreamed a lot growing up, but she started having very vivid dreams. And one of those dreams, she's 23 years old at this point. She remembers before going to bed, she gets in her bed and she turns and faces the wall. Very specifically. Falls asleep facing the wall. Wakes up in the middle of the night.
Back towards the door?
Probably.
Dude, that's bad feng shui.
I know. This is her fault. What was she wearing? So she said she wakes up quickly. Fear in the room. She's staring at the wall, and as she's looking at the wall, she says, everything gets unnaturally dark.
Ew.
And she can feel like she's not alone. What time is it? She turns around and looks at her clock. Her clock should be right behind her on her table, and the clock's gone.
Oh, shit.
Because she realizes there is something standing in front of her clock.
Hell no, dog. I don't like that, dude.
It's time to get the hell out.
In the split second she realizes this, she does like a double take. It's gone. The room is back to its normal light. And the clock is flashing like 3:33.
Oh, my hell.
Oh, 3:30. Sorry. 3:30 a.m. She said she was so overwhelmed at this point and just like so many emotions, she starts laughing. Because she's like so terrified and I can relate. I understand this feeling. She is so terrified, she starts laughing.
Same.
And like reading this, I relate to this as well. She's like, I don't know how, but I like was so overwhelmed. I laughed, I chuckled, I rolled back over and fell immediately asleep. Because it was like, I couldn't even deal.
Just so much exhaustion. I'm done.
Yeah. And I understand that. Nightmares getting worse. Sleep paralysis getting worse. Sleep lessening to the point where it's affecting her when she's in her waking hours. She's at work, she's at home, and she feels like she's asleep. In this part, she shares a lot of very sensitive details about like her emotional and spiritual state at this time. So like, I just want to like put out there, like, that sucks.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrible.
And we're not making fun of jokes of that or whatever. After the nightmares kept happening, sleep paralysis getting so bad that it happened while I was at work one time awake. Like she's awake, just like zoning, drifting, daydreaming, and she like feels like she's in sleep paralysis.
What the
Move. Can't breathe. It's like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
A coworker had to jostle me awake. I was seeing the lady in my mind's eye more frequently, and she was getting so close to me that all I could see was her face.
Oh.
She had sunken dark eyes, mouth wide open, as if she was screaming. I could see her all the time, even when I wasn't alone. I'd be at work, and she was with me. This is when I started to get really scared. I felt as if I was having an inner battle with myself. Suddenly I had thoughts, and this is like very personal. So yeah, I started having thoughts about maybe hurting someone. So I mentioned earlier, she works in the deli, and she said she'd be sitting there cutting up meat, and she would look at the knife, and for a split second, she would get a thought. What if I use this knife on a person? What if I use this knife on myself? What if I use it? Wait, stop.
It's like the void.
Yeah.
Call of the void type feels, where it's
Yeah.
like we've all had those weird little thoughts. What if I just like drove right into traffic? And it's like
Right.
when you recognize them, you're like, ew, no, that's not me. But they just like kind of sneak in.
Yeah.
But the issue is she was noticing they were sneaking in more and more, and she was like aware that she could not control them. Quickly dismissed the idea because it seemed too crazy to me. After having the same thought multiple times, I started to break down. I was crying randomly at different times of the day, and I felt like I could not control it. I wasn't in control. There was no reason to be sad, but I would burst into tears. One day I broke down. I became severely worried about my sanity and the safety of others. So she's at the point of breaking. Zero sleep. Feels out of control. Burst into tears. I got home from work and I ran upstairs to my bathroom. This is when I lost it. If anyone could see me in that moment, they would have thought me insane. One moment I was crying, scared of what was happening to me. And the next moment I was laughing because it was ridiculous. So it almost seems like, she's like seeing and she's like, dude, what the heck is going on?
Almost
And then
manic.
in the depths, yeah. I'd be switching to talking to myself logically about what was happening. And then I would switch back to these super emotional, frenzies. She then realized half of the emotion she was feeling was not her own. As soon as I realized that, the image of the lady's face came to me in my mind's eye as clear as if I was actually looking at her in person. And instead of the mouth being open like a scream, she was grinning at me.
Ew, I don't like that.
All I could see was her face right in front of my face. She was smiling and I knew why. I could feel why. She was happy because she was winning. And she was so close to what she wanted, and what she wanted was me. I felt her presence in the bathroom with me. I couldn't see anyone, but I could feel her as if she was laughing silently right by me. This next part, I am going to tell in a way to try to respect what happened, because I'm going off the belief that this actually happened to a person, and I'm not going to question that. It's their belief. She was panicking, freaking out in the bathroom, and all of a sudden a memory came to her mind. She had a discussion with her brother when she was about 8 years old. And her brother, as a member of a religion, told her there might be a time in your life where you are going to face something evil. And if that ever happens, all you need to do, and he tells her something to do, and he tells her a prayer to say, and in the name of a deity, cast it out. So a motion with the arm and a specific thing to say, which to her and her brother is sacred. So I'm not going to put it out there. But she said that memory just flashed in her mind, clear as day. The words that her brother said when she was 8 years old. And she said, well, I think this kind of constitutes as what he was talking about.
Right.
So she did the thing he suggested, said the prayer he suggested. And as she's about to do it, she thought, don't. It's embarrassing. So embarrassing. People will think you're a crazy person for doing this. Starts having all these doubts, like a flood of doubts. She said it was so overwhelming. And then all of a sudden she's like, wait, what am I saying? I'm alone in this bathroom. Who's going to see me? She says later that she thinks that is like a direct attempt by the adversary to stop her. She said it was like an overwhelming flood of being embarrassed. Anyway, I finally did it. All I could manage was a whisper. And I said what my brother told me to say. Immediately, the presence I had felt was gone. The image of the lady's face was nowhere in my mind. And suddenly, years of depression or weight or whatever it was lifted. Weight and depression that she didn't realize had been slowly put on her. Like she didn't even realize. But all of a sudden, with it all taken off, she was like, holy shit. Maybe she didn't say shit. Sorry. I said that she said that. I then repeated the prayer, but this time I shouted it as loud as I could, just in case the whisper didn't fully work. Either way, it worked, and I was so astounded that I sat there for a literal 2 minutes with my mouth open. In that moment, I realized something had been attacking me little by little for years. I had no idea at the time. I was being so influenced for that long, but it was gone, and I could feel peace. I was afraid of it happening again, so I finally had a conversation with my mom about something personal, which I hadn't done for years at this point, and I told her what had happened. She helped me get in touch with the right people, get my life back on track, and I'm saying these things. This isn't her words. She basically helps her daughter like get back to a place where she feels better and she feels like she's making the right decisions. I couldn't deny what had happened to me. She kind of gives a conclusion. Ever since then, I had maybe 1 or 2 sleep paralysis since, and it's been about 8 years since this all went down. My mom says the same thing. I can't confirm if it was a haunting or if that entity was haunting me or she was attacking me or my mom. I feel bad for bringing it on my mom. I don't think you need to feel guilty. Sorry. Her thoughts on the story. I know this is an entertaining story, but I do share in the hopes that it can help anyone else out there who might be struggling like I was. I hope you enjoyed, and I thank you for letting me share. P.S. I do still see the lady in my mind from time to time.
Oh, shit.
I think it's just a memory of her. Just when I talk about her or think about her, I kind of think of her as my demon. If you've ever read or heard of the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, I feel like she was assigned to me. I don't know why. It's just a hypothesis. CC.
Damn.
The end.
That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Very heavy, very real themes. A lot of relatable themes that I think even people, all 3 of us in this room have dealt like directly with. Feelings of like depression or like feeling like weight and dealing with that for years.
That's like that ending bit's like a movie.
Yeah.
It's like everything
Culminating in one final showdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very thematic. And maybe, and some people just like experience life a lot more that way. Cinematic.
When you're doing like the whole like room full of darkness and you did like your hand motion, that actually reminded me of a dream I used to have as a kid where I'd be sleeping and then all of a sudden the room would like zoom out. And I would just be like in the middle of this. I would like feel like going from being in my bedroom to like being in like a gymnasium like size room. And like everything would just be echoing and stuff like that. And I'd just be like, wake up. And I'd have to wake up and just like breathe for a second and then go back to sleep.
That's interesting. You have it often.
When I was a kid, not
Weird.
anymore. I guess I was probably less of a skeptic then.
Shout out CC. I'm happy you're in a better place.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know it's not easy to relive like intense moments of your life or dark times in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And I do hope if there's anyone out there who's struggling, know that you're not alone and know that there might be help. Obviously, we're not in any position to give out like, what's the word? Advice?
Advice, yeah.
Dude, yeah, seek help. Therapy's cool.
Like good help.
Talking to a
not
friend
us.
is cool.
Dude, I was also going to say that like the conversations they have with their family was so much more honest. Like, oh, I'm not sleeping well. Like I've been having these.
Like, bitch, I think there's a demon after me.
If someone asks me, my family, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's it. Maybe that's just a me thing.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta start having real conversations. But anyway, thank you, CC.
There.
Shout out CC. Guys, my second story tonight is also from a listener, but I will be sharing it with patrons only.
Oh.
So if you want to hear it and every other bonus story we've ever shared on any other episode, head over to patreon.com/3ampod. And for $2 a month, you too can become a patron and listen to this dope ass story you're about to miss.
Also,
Creepy
it would be wise if you're interested in acquiring Something 3 a.m.
Merch!
made. Oh, I try to not say it. I don't want to say it anymore.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin it.
The $5 gets you the 15% discount. But yeah,
You could actually be saving money.
Yeah, you actually we give you money.
So
At least for that
you're
month.
welcome, dude.
So-
In the words of Maui.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me tonight. Who's next? Sean?
That's me.
Dope. Let's talk to chat.
Yeah, isn't it strange how people look away when things get scary, but looking away would probably endanger you more than acknowledging your surroundings?
That's my theory and why I've always hated the blanket protection. I never got under the blankets because it was more scary to me. I always just sat in the corner of my room and watched everything.
Here's the thing. I've hacked this.
Oh, hacker man.
If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm not looking at the clock because then they won't know that I know that it's 3:33 and they can't come after
They're
me.
all sitting there like, come on, dude.
I distinctly remember one night where it was a time where I had a huge habit of looking at the clock. I remember waking up and I said, as soon as I look at the clock, it's going to be 3 o'clock. Don't look, don't look, don't look. And I couldn't go to bed because it was like, I was looking at the clock mainly to see how much time it was until I had to wake up and start my terrible job. And if it was early, it'd be like, oh, good. 5 more hours.
Yeah.
As opposed to, half an hour. Exactly.
Dude, the best is it's like, it's only 11:30. I have the rest of the night ahead of me.
I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
I don't go to bed past before midnight now. But I was like, don't look, don't look, don't look. And that went on and I just couldn't fall back asleep. And I look, it's exactly 3 o'clock. And I'm so mad.
You should have just looked the first time.
I'm so mad. And it was a time too where I couldn't go to sleep during 3. Like I had to be aware of my surroundings during the 3 hour. So I was like, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to look up at the ceiling, not do anything, not be on my phone, not do anything. And I just laid there still.
That sucks.
Sweating.
Why are you
Tired.
sweating now?
Just because I'm nervous. I thought something was going to happen. And I was like, next time you look at the clock, it's going to be 4. And I'd hold it off. I'd put it off. And I looked back, exactly 4.
You have an
on the
incredible
clock.
internal
bro,
And I
clock.
was like, this is
wild.
insane.
I
And
said internal clock.
and I went to sleep. Nah, tell it. Charlie, you're a blue baller. Wow. No.
What is that in reference to?
Jeez.
See
What the
you
heck?
teasing that story earlier,
No,
bro.
that can't be.
Damn, I had a sleep paralysis episode where I could feel and see my husband laying on my legs. I kept going in and out of it where I would wake up and know he was still at work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Emily Arnay, Sean's ew is the best.
I did get an ooh this episode.
That's so funny. Specific.
And that's that.
Cool. All right, let's jump into it.
All right, guys. So I have just the most terrifying story I've told since like 2 weeks ago,
Are you being serious?
but I'm not going to tell it.
You
because-
Dude, you're a bad person. Who does that?
Just kidding. So my story comes from a listener and also from Florida. So, it's just
What do you mean also from Florida?
Florida man makes things scarier, in my opinion.
But what else was from Florida?
Florida man.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways,
He was saying this story comes from a listener,
in Florida.
also from Florida, just telling about the listener.
He's from Florida. I thought you were saying like he also is from Florida.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Okay, anyways, our homie TJ lives in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yee.
Now, he and his
That's the
friends,
streets out there.
dude, he and his friends are into ghost hunting. They like watching the shows. They also like going and checking stuff out on their themselves. One day, they decide that they're going to go out ghost hunting. So they do a quick Google search of
Where are the ghosts?
where the ghosts be.
I'm feeling lucky.
Hot ghosts in my area.
Dude, it sometimes be like that because I'm always getting ghosted.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, they come across Kingsley Plantation. Now, Kingsley Plantation used to be one of the first pit stops for incoming slave traders in Florida at the time.
Definitely super haunted.
They decided they were going to go and check it out. So
Do we know what like state it's in? Is it abandoned? Is it?
Oh, I got some pictures. We'll pull these up here in a second.
Oh,
So they decided to go check it out. TJ, his friends Matt, Chase, and Mallory drive out, and Kingsley Plantation is actually on an island.
it's like the damn Scooby Doo bunch, dude.
Bro, kind of do be like that. It's on an island. They don't get on a boat. They cross a bridge to get onto this island. And eventually
it floods and they can't go back.
And then all of a sudden there's zombies coming out of the ground. Anyways, they eventually get to this dirt road on this island, and it starts to get more narrow and narrow till eventually they get to this sign. And one of the pictures should be them in front of the sign if you want to pull that up. But it's basically of the Kingsley Plantation right here. And it's about 3 miles from the nearest home or building in any direction. And they continue to head out past the sign. And eventually they get to these buildings, which after later research, they discovered was the houses that the slaves were held in. And this is what they look like now. And I think there's also a depiction of it from back in the day, but this is current status.
Jeez.
So they hop out of the car just to kind of, he says, to just kind of scope the area out and see if they can see any orbs. Orbs will come back later. And that's why I feel like it was brought up at this point in the story. But the night's really calm. You can just hear the bugs and swamp animals. So there's nothing too like concerning. Eventually, after they've kind of explored this little like area of these houses, TJ sees what he thinks looks like a firefly somewhere in these buildings. And he remembers thinking that's not possible because fireflies aren't really down in Florida.
Huh.
So he tells that to his friends. And as they all like kind of see this firefly, everything goes quiet. Like the sound was completely gone. All of the bugs and swamp animals were gone. And then this wind starts picking up out of nowhere. And he said this incredibly intense wind to where all of them were huddled back behind the car. Now, Mallory is still in the car, but the three of them are huddled together, and then the wind kind of dies. So they're like, okay, we should be good.
Like it collected them all up.
It collected them all. So they feel like they should be good. The wind is gone. But at that point, they heard something. And it seemed to be coming from the direction of the plantation. And this is the plantation house, too, that DJ has pulled up here. And he said it was a very low beating sound that came about every 10 seconds in groups of 3 each time. So a bump, 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 bump.
Knocks a 3, not good.
Every like 10 seconds or so. Now, he said, being the idiots that we are, we decided to head out in the direction of the sound.
Guys, do we leave or go towards the sound?
Towards the sound. So as they continued going towards it, the drumming seemed to get louder and louder until they came up on this abandoned little cemetery. As they get to the cemetery, the drumming picks up, bump, 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 stops. And then they hear twigs snapping from all around them in the forest, as if something is coming out of the forest at them. And at this point, they sprinted back to the car. They all just turn tail and run. They get back to the car, jump in, and Mallory's in like driver's seat. And she all of a sudden gets freaked out by the 3 of them jumping in because she said, I swear I just saw one of you go in front of the car. At this point, without explaining themselves, they just said, hey, we got to get out of here. They skirt
Skedaddle.
out of this plantation and drive off to live another day. Now, when they get back, the homie Matt decided to do some more research on the plantation.
Let's hear it, Matt.
So he discovers that there's actually much more to the plantation and that allegedly it's home to an evil spirit that has been given the name Old Red Eyes. So in the early 1800s, Zephaniah Kingsley built his plantation.
Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Zephaniah, brother.
Zephaniah Kingsley built his plantation here on the island, and he was a slave owner, but by all accounts wasn't the worst of them. Because
Says who?
because he had set up a task system so that once the tasks were done, they were free to go about their day and do whatever they wanted. If they
He's one of those cool slave
He was one of
owners.
the cools. And we're not
So
laughing at
brother.
this. Like,
Bar the R.
this is just what is actually said about him.
Interesting.
Anyways, in the 1820s, the labor laws kind of started to change in less favor of the task system that he had set up, to where it's almost becoming worse.
Like, be meaner.
So he GTFOs, goes down to Haiti, moves all of his people, not all of his people, but probably a big chunk of them down to Haiti. But before all of this went down, there was a man on his plantation that they had all considered to be possessed by an evil spirit. He had raped and murdered several of the other slaves, women and children.
What do you mean wrapped? Okay. Wrap
Wrapped.
them up in plastic.
Wrapped them up in plastic.
Okay.
All of the other fellow slaves rounded him up and hung him from one of the prominent trees on the plantation. And this is Old Red Eyes. Am I not allowed to say that?
No,
Shit.
this is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Like the I'm watching it in my head is not great.
Just from a prominent tree on this plantation, they basically exacted revenge for all of the people that he had murdered. Now, after this discovery, TJ and Matt, they're like, we got to go back. So they get another one of their friends whose name was Abe. They're like, yo, we're going back to this plantation. Apparently there's an evil spirit here.
Why we gotta go back?
no. Shh. We gotta go back.
Okay.
They went back because their intention was to summon him.
Dude.
Why?
No.
Y'all just left because some knocking, and now you're like, wait.
That's what I'm saying. This is
answer.
in Florida. This is in Florida.
True. Yeah,
They be wild.
we can't fathom their thought process.
So they drove back, and once they arrived, TJ said they jumped out of the car, and for a solid 5 to 6 minutes, they were shouting his name, almost taunting him to come out. And then after this 5 or 6 minute time frame, everything went quiet again. And this wind, this intense wind picked up once again to the point where they're like, we got to get back in the car.
Dude, you were asking
Y'all-
for this.
Yeah, came for that.
You can't
It's
just
true.
be like, oh, I don't want to play anymore.
It's like,
no, you're
we weren't
playing.
expecting wind. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, what were you expecting?
So as they get back in the car, they decide to drive slowly off of the property to see if they can see anything coming. And as they're driving off the property, Abe, I think, is the one who's driving, looks in the rearview mirror and sees what appears to be brake lights off in the distance from behind them. They all kind of slow down and look out the back of their window, and it looks like 2 red dots coming at them fast.
Oh,
And at this point, he said they kicked it in 5 gear. They drove as fast as they could. He even went as far as to mention that they had to get the car serviced the next day because they had
they
basically
kicked it
just,
into 5 gear.
they're like driving hella fast off of this property. But allegedly, that is a sighting of Old Red Eyes, and that's how you will see him. The legend goes that as you drive onto the plantation, if you say his name 3 times, kind of a Bloody Mary situation, and then drive off,
Just
you'll
red eyes,
see
red
him
eyes.
in the rearview mirror. And he will be closer than he appears.
Damn you. Dad joke ass.
No, but that's actually part of the legend.
Oh, okay. Objects may appear closer than they It's like the T-Rex. Bro, terrifying.
It sounds vaguely reminiscent of something we might potentially do. So I can relate to maybe the exploring haunted areas. However,
I don't know.
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
taunt anything, you know?
Call me a basic white bitch, but anything that has to do with like slave, voodoo, Native American, I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. I'm not tempting that.
Dude, it did give me the Scooby-Doo Zombie Island vibes.
100%.
Though.
When he said the drumming happened, I was like, is this Jumanji or what? Yeah. Roinks, Raggy. Yeah, sounded like Jumanji.
I had to struggle to not slip into a southern draw as I was talking about that story too.
You should have like molasses.
Molasses.
Aaron's in the chat. Shout out Aaron. Someone also gifted a sub.
Let's go.
Oh, just kidding. 007
they
Shrimp
subbed
with Prime. Shout out. Thanks for giving us Bezos money. If you guys have an Amazon Prime account, you can sub for free and it will give us Bezos's money. So
help us get to space.
help us. What a helpless. Wait, where are we at? Dude, people started sharing stories.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yo Penu Coco. Guessing. Since we're sharing stories, last night I woke up at 3:02 and I dreamt that my daughter was playing with a random baby in the backyard in the middle of the night with a full moon. Those are not great things so far. I don't know who the baby or toddler was, but I saw that they were wearing a diaper and running from my line of sight. Ugh! So you're like trying to look and focus on it. It's just like,
I don't like that.
I woke up with mad cotton mouth. LOL. 'Twas freaky.
That's when that drink of cold water just hits in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Aaron's here. Shout out Aaron.
Average Observer said, I had a dream not too long ago that there was a tornado passing over my house and I couldn't wake any of my family up to save them. When I woke up, it was 3:33 a.m.
Oh, damn.
Reed has said that, or was it Reed or Seth? One of our friends with kids said they'll wake up in the middle of the night and they'll be like, something's here. And they'll turn and just their 3-year-old child is like standing right by them silently like, they're like, oh,
I don't know about that, dude.
Don't do that.
Dude, that's also Kalima, young Kalima.
Oh, yeah.
His daughter, within the last month or two, just learned how to climb out the crib.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Tommy Pickle style.
Yeah. Climb out the crib, walk into their room, and she just eyes right above the bed.
That's kind of funny. Lucy kind of does that.
Really?
Where, randomly I'll look down at the bottom of my bed and all you'll see is this. Yeah, and I'm just like, damn you, Lucy. Yeah. Anyway.
Humans can lick too.
And then Lucy barks outside and I'm like, who's you? Who are you?
Who's you?
Who's you?
That was a fun story.
Yeah, that was a fun story. Thanks, TJ, for sharing.
Thank you, TJ. You demands.
A real urban legend.
That's funny. TJ, close us out, baby.
Let's go. I'm bringing it back with last week's episode. I talked about a Scottish
You're doing a
black
lawn, right?
magic.
You're doing a lawn, right?
No, I'm not doing a lawn.
That you teased last week?
Both of y'all are
and
dirty.
I'm
Just
sorry.
saying, hey, I got great stories
I'm
and
sorry.
I'm going to share
It's
them
taking
later.
it's so much. It's so much.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I know.
But I've literally spent a few hours so far just writing down notes for a lawn.
It will be worth it. We're
Yeah.
excited.
Okay. I'm continuing on from last episode. Switching from black magic to white magic. Last week I talked about second sight to kind of preface white magic. I want to get more into that. It's crazy that magic was so feared during that time, during the witch hunts in Europe, and then it crossed over to North America in Salem, that it's hard to realize that there was still magic that was accepted. For all the witch hunts that were going on, there were magic users that were accepted by society and government.
So you had Slytherins and Gryffindors.
Exactly, dog. And these were wizards.
Oh.
So wizards come from the term wise and ard. The Old English term ard like drunkard, somebody who is drunk.
Oh.
So
A
wizard,
wise
somebody who is wise. Yep. So
A dumbard.
So, dude, try a little harder.
Try
Wizards,
harder.
Hardered.
hard. Wizards had like a multitude. Bro, is that a Mormon word?
A multitude.
I mean, it's like in our lexicon, but it's not exclusive, you know.
Wizards had,
And it came to pass that wizards.
and it came to pass that wizards had a multitude of ways to defend themselves against the dark arts.
My multitudes.
Against black magic, and it was with their white magic. And one of the many ways was through charms. So charms were also known as, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Aeolus. Aeolus translates into knowledge, which is a Gallic term.
Gaelic.
Gaelic.
Yeah.
Gaelic. Aeolus. So basically, charms came in the form of knowledge, which translated into like poems and rhymes.
Dude.
Just dropping bars, dog.
Like, hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, this bitch ass black magic.
Is whack magic.
Yeah. It's mom's spaghetti. Mom's haggis. Wingardium Levy Magus.
Let me run through some of these with you, and a lot of these had the actual like charm, like the poems, the rhymes that came with it, but I didn't write any of those down. But I'm just gonna talk about like specific ones and like their purposes and what they did.
Real quick.
The first one.
Does this remind you of anything? Songs of Healing.
Ooh.
Shout out my Navajos.
Very nice. I could have used this first one. It was for ankle sprains.
No.
They had specific ones.
Are you Scottish?
No, I am English. So that's different, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about my
Bro,
Caucasian
learn your
side.
heritage, dog.
So if you had a sprained ankle, you would go to a wizard, and they would take dirt from a gray hill, specifically a gray hill they listed, and they would scatter it on your ankle, and you would have to walk around said gray hill 3 times during a south wind.
Thrice.
Yeah.
During a south
And
wind.
while you did that, they would recite this.
Bro, find the poem.
Yeah. So
Let's try it.
I might have to.
Yeah.
Might have to go to my boy Sean over here to do that.
All the Scottish magic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Another Aeolus was used for toothaches. Toothaches had a specific poem, and you didn't recite it. You had to sew it onto your clothes. You had to get a wizard to sew it onto your clothes.
Custom.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Travis
Custom
Scott
threads.
merch, dog.
Hell yeah.
Dude, we should put that on our merch.
We'll sew on to help your toothaches to our merch.
That's lit.
Tons of different charms for tuberculosis, protecting your cattle. Remember we talked about that last week. Cattle was very valuable and was your entire livelihood, so they had charms for that. Protecting your sheep, charms to help you swim, charms for love. There was also charms for protection from the gaze of the evil eye. Have you ever heard of the evil eye?
Dude, actually, yes.
Feel like I have as well, but not the evil eye you're probably talking
We
about.
talked about it in a couple episodes ago with the girl, shout out our homie, forgot her name, but her Mexican grandma.
yes,
right.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You could be hexed with an evil eye.
Yeah, so evil eye
Or
is
stink eye.
pretty
Stink eye.
widespread. Like it started within like the Mediterranean and just traveled from there. And
Is it essentially just like wishing bad juju on someone, but like a little more focused?
more or less, it's kind of a loose term, and the applications of it are pretty wide. Because I was reading a lot of stories of where the evil eye was used. Some people, it turned into like a sickness for them, like they fell ill. Some people, it was like a physical look that you could give somebody and curse them with that gaze.
You ready? I'm going to do it in the chat.
Yeah. That's deep, bro.
You feel that shit?
Bro, all y'all are cursed now.
Protection from the gaze of the evil eye. Somebody in chat said, I high key interpreted that as protection from the gaze.
Oh gosh.
Like, guys,
Which wouldn't be far off back then. in the
hot
60s.
ass, buff, oiled dudes out there. You got to protect yourself.
The evil eye, yeah, it's found in like a lot of Jewish literature, like old Jewish literature, the evil eye.
Interesting.
And you might have seen the evil eye. There's an emoji of the evil eye, and you probably didn't know that it was the evil eye.
An emoji.
And it's turned into jewelry.
Chat, spam that evil eye, son.
It's turned into jewelry. Yeah, if you go into if you have an iPhone, go into the emoji keyboard and type evil eye, and it'll come up.
No way.
Yeah. So the jewelry is usually a pendant, and it's used with like blue glass or a topaz stone. Here, I'll bring it up right now.
Oh my gosh.
You've seen this emoji before.
Yeah.
That is the evil
I was
eye.
wondering
That's
what
just
it
a
was.
curse?
But it's if you type evil eye, two things will come up.
Bro, I'm gonna start
This,
cursing y'all with
and
this
then the hand
Like stopping
with
it?
the eye
Oh,
in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Both of those are
Apple's
in the
into some
emoji.
shit, dude.
It's crazy. Well, here's the thing. The evil eye can also
People are putting it in chat. Sorry.
the evil eye can also be used as a counter charm. So people can take like the evil. People made charms so that if somebody's using the evil eye on
It like
you,
matches it.
it's like fighting fire with fire almost.
Two negatives, baby.
Yeah, Meghan
Make a
Markle.
positive.
Oh,
Meghan Markle, has been
we do
known
not speak her name.
to wear the evil eye
What the?
often. Markle evil eye, you'll see the pendant that she's wearing of the evil eye.
Just searching
That's
Meghan
a-
Markle.
That's I don't know. Is it for like male intent, or is it
For
like
protection.
a protected?
It could
protective
be
charm?
both.
From the gaze
We don't know.
of evil eyes.
Did you ever listen to the band Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah, I've heard some of their stuff.
They're really fun.
Remind me.
Like early 2010s, "Take Me Out" is their biggest song.
Take me out.
To
Yeah.
the
When
ball
September
game.
ends.
All of that. They wrote all of that. But they have a song called "Evil Eye," and that's one of the first times that I heard of it. They're like alternative rock,
Oh, right.
funk,
Take
punk.
me out.
But, Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're from Scotland. They're Scottish band.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
Check out the song "Evil Eye." But
You don't say.
yeah, people and animals can get the evil eye. There's been cases of cattle getting the evil eye,
Yikes.
and if they come in contact with other cattle, those cattle will die.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So secondhand evil eye is deadlier than firsthand.
so like I said, the applications of this are pretty widespread. Sometimes it turns into like a sickness or a disease. So they can put this hex, evil eye hex, on an animal, and it becomes like infectious.
They
and,
get down with the sickness.
yeah, exactly, my guy.
The cow goes, wah.
And yeah, that's that on the evil eye. So those are starting to get into like physical charms, because before that they were just like words that like incantations that wizards would recite. Physical charms, starting with so you had physical charms to combat like a lot of like sicknesses and illnesses. So for warts, what you could do was you could bury a grain of barley, and if it was undisturbed, you'd bury a grain of barley for each wart that you had, and if it was unfound, you would be cured. As
If
soon
it
as somebody
was
found,
Who's like
Who's
searching for
looking
barley?
for
I don't-
barley,
if somebody
dog?
like digs up something and sees, oh, somebody dug this place
You're
up,
like, oh shit.
let's hear it. Yeah, you would
You
get it
already
back.
found it. It's too late.
Also, you could rub pig's blood on said wart with a cloth.
I'm going to go the barley.
One of
dog.
those is a little easier.
You leave the cloth on the road, and as soon as somebody picks up the cloth,
They get the wart.
they inherit the warts.
STDs.
Crazy.
Old school, medieval STDs, dude.
Honestly, dude.
You've inherited my chlamydia. Sir. Dude, that's wild. And first of all, a dick ass move, bro. Dude, leave it to the Scottish.
If you had a sty,
Oh,
you would grab a burning stick and you'd wave it around in the air,
like you just
Don't care.
swish and flick,
So,
and you'd say a sty 1, a sty 2, a sty 3, all the way to a sty 9. And after that, you would say, take yourself off, sty. And the sty would magically disappear.
what the fuck? There you go.
So, physical charm, the burning stick. Toothaches, a physical charm to heal toothaches. You would grab coffin nails. You would have to dig up a coffin, take out a nail, and put it in your mouth. Or a severed finger. The former was used a lot more,
they're
obviously.
digging up graves all over the place then. Jeez.
Okay, what else? Another physical charm, a famous one, used today, commonly, all over Instagram,
WWJD.
and even Coachella, the flower crown.
The flower crown.
Midsummer vibes.
Midsummer vibes.
Yeah.
Flower crowns. Lots of flowers had different properties, healing. They would use it. I mean, flowers were used for fragrances, for teas. These certain flowers had specific purposes, and they offered protection from sickness and hexes. For example, the hyacinth. The hyacinth root, if you ground it up into a powder, and you place the powder under your pillow, you would have a dream of the person you're supposed to marry.
Oh, shit. Where can I find some hyacinth?
Let's test this shit out. son. These dirty motherfuckers sleeping with ground flowers and shit. Pig's blood. They're covered in pig's blood. Ground
Cutting
flowers.
people's fingers off.
Cutting people's
Just sucking on nails from coffins, bro.
Damn Scottish. But the English never should have stopped tyrannizing them. I don't know the words.
They took their freedom.
Yeah, they should have taken their freedom.
Fairies were believed to give flowers their like healing or protective
first
abilities.
the gays, then the fairies. DJ,
They would give the flowers their healing powers and abilities.
dope.
However, for whatever reason, it was known throughout the land that iron killed fairies. So it's very important that when you are harvesting flowers to be used as physical charms, you would use wooden farm instruments.
What?
Yeah. So you wouldn't cut the weeds or these herbs or flowers with like a metal knife. You would, I don't know, are there wooden knives?
There must
Or just
be.
rip them off.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
just rip them off. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't use iron because you would kill the fairies, thus disrupting the properties that the fairies give to these flowers to make them like a healing agent.
Did you get the vibe that fairies were good?
In this sense, yes.
Because like in a lot of Gaelic and like Irish and shit, it's
There's
like they're terrifying.
evil, evil fairies. Yeah,
They'll take
there's
your
both.
baby.
Yeah, exactly. So those are physical charms that they had. The next one were stones, specific stones, like crystals. Bro,
Seer stones?
this is just the origin story of like Amway and doTERRA oils, bro.
Dude, the original MLM.
This is the original MLM.
You're gonna need
the
to get
Scottish.
two people
Damn
under
all
you.
of you, dog.
Broke asses are like, what do we have in the yard? Stones. Guys, have ye warts on ye genitals? Smack your mom with this stone and chew on a log.
We went from wench to boss babe.
Yeah. Dude, they didn't have pyramids in Scotland,
Yeah. They had to make their own.
but they had schemes.
Yeah. Okay, stones.
I don't know. I'm buying in. Whatever you're selling, Scots, I'm buying
Yeah,
in. Dude.
yeah.
Take my freedom.
The first
my money.
one is one of the most, I think, at least. So all of these come from the sources that I listed last time. I had all those books.
What were those?
Let me go back.
The Witchual.
Witchcraft and Superstitious Record in the Southwestern District of Scotland by J. Maxwell Wood. Witchcraft and Second Sight in the Highlands and Islands of Scotland by John
Highlands.
Gregerson
Spitting,
Campbell.
dude. Bars, bro.
And a couple others, but all of these come from those sources. Stones. Perhaps one of the most famous stones was the serpent stone. And the serpent stone, fascinating, was made by binding 13 snakes.
Rude.
13 snakes. This is a very dangerous one, but the payoff, if successful, was high. So binding 13 snakes, you wrap them up and you throw it into the air, and you can't let it touch the ground. You have to catch it with your clothes, so with your shirt or something.
Dude.
Once you catch it, the snakes will start to attack you until you cross a river. Once the river is crossed, it turns into the serpent stone. The serpent stone then gives you the ability to win any legal dispute.
Oh, nice.
And there's been an account of someone who became a king, and he
Possessed.
no, not possessed, but he attributes his kingship to his serpent stone.
Damn.
That's what I was saying.
Bro,
He
that's
possessed
high
a
snakes,
serpent
dude.
stone.
Oh, yes, I see.
Wait, what did you say?
I said that was high snakes, dude.
High snakes. I love it.
That's good. That's good. The next one, snail beads. Snail beads offered like basic protection is kind of like a general over-the-counter drug.
This is your aspirin.
Can I get some snail beads, please?
Yeah. Oh, are you dying?
You got a migraine?
Aspirin.
Yeah.
Snail beads were just there were like special snails that would gather in 4 or 5 and come together and turn into these snail beads. So if you're able to come across that or make one, then you would have protection. So that one was pretty vague. Fairy arrows. This is the only part where I could see where they were talking about fairies and like them being evil. And fairies would shoot their arrows at cattle and sheep, cause them to fall into a deep slumber and sink into the fairy world.
Ooh.
Damn. Be like, where did Bessie go?
Yeah.
If you were able to get a hold of these fairy arrowheads, you could dip them in like water or like a specific river, and it would cure your illness.
They're like, Bessie must have moved. Okay, it's getting late. So wait, any illness?
Any, bro.
It said the specific wording was it would cure any sudden illness.
Oh, so like one that comes on slowly, you're
Yes.
SOL.
Yeah.
You really could have used that last year.
Yeah, it can't be like 5th stage.
You're going to have to do the snakes
hiccups.
one.
This is all madness.
It's crazy. It's like how did they
toss some snakes in the air,
How
catch
did-
them with your clothes, cross a river? It's like, okay.
turn this stupid fat rat yellow?
Sunrise, daisy,
Bottom mellow.
turn this stupid fat rat yellow.
Like who?
Yeah.
Who made this?
Yeah. Sources, please. I would like to see sources.
Obviously everyone bought into that.
They're like,
Or
that
was
sounds
it
good.
like MLMs back in the day? Like there were people who were like, nah, I'm not with that. Like don't join that scheme, bro.
We got to unfriend her on social
So in
media.
1,000 years, people will be having podcasts talking about doTERRA.
Yeah. These
These
dumbasses.
magical
Yeah.
abilities, bro.
Rub this bullshit all
Yeah.
over you. I do with some lavender.
Some
bro,
lavender.
so-
I see you. Yeah.
Some peppermint.
And when I
dog.
have an upset tummy, dude, peppermint helps. So you guys are clowning.
You'll see. The last one under physical charms were, and this one's really short, but wells and water springs. So apparently this started in Scotland, where they believe that certain spirits lived in water springs and in wells, and they really loved copper. So people would throw coins
Oh my
to gain
gosh.
favor, and they would help you gain protection or a wish, and that's where it all started.
This is my dream. My dream.
To be a
that
a
from?
good basketball player
Oh,
on
Frank.
my high
Goonies.
school team.
The best, actually.
But that's that with springs
wishing
and
wells.
wells. Yeah, wishing
Yeah.
wells. So
I wish you well. Dude, I love that.
fun, light-hearted.
Guys, obviously don't do any of these at home, but if you ignore my very clear directive of not doing those at home and you do those at home,
Let us know what happens.
Are you out here winning trials because you have a snake stone?
And if you are,
Let us know.
Come and do some trials for us.
Did you get rid of warts? Did you guys have warts growing up?
No, not really.
I had one wart.
Whoa.
It was weird.
Voldemort.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing because it was in middle school and I had a pencil and I was like throwing it up in the air and it stabbed my finger when it landed. I didn't like catch it on the side. So it went right in my finger and the lead broke off.
Oh.
It was a mechanical pencil.
You were impregnated.
So lead, broke off in my finger and I couldn't get it out. And after like a month, it had grown into like a wart. I don't know. I didn't go to my mom for it. I was like, I guess I have this on my finger now. And I had it for like 6 months. And then I was playing with a piece of ice one day. That's what we do in Hawaii.
Yeah. Holy shit, we have ice.
And it like stuck to my wart. And I ripped the ice off my hand. My finger was bleeding and bleeding, but it took the wart off and never grew back. Like it froze. I literally froze my wart off.
Dude, that sounds insane.
Yeah.
That whole chain of events. Playing with ice.
That doesn't sound
ripping
real.
ice.
So crazy. I don't know what to think right now. That's literally like how doctors get rid of it. They like chemically freeze them off.
Yeah.
So I have a story, and it's kind of embarrassing. I had a wart on what's the opposite? Like right here. What's that? Like your foot pit?
Your leg.
Like right here. And this sucker was the size of a Captain Crunch thing.
Yeah.
Large. This boy was big. And I went to the doctor.
It was crusty.
Yeah.
Just crunchitized me, Captain.
You ate enough of them and it scraped the roof of your mouth. So anyway, I go to the doctor and the doctor like drips on this like liquid nitrogen shit. And like the wart freezes and then like fills with blood. And it's like, that's normal. It's going to fall off in a while. And then, you know, me, just like sports guy. So the neighborhood was playing football and I was like, let's go. So I'm playing football and like, I think I get entangled in a tackle and my wart exploded.
Oh.
All the blood it was just like, boom, it blew up and the wart ripped off. And that's the end of that story. I lost my wart in a fight. Anyway, thank you for listening. The Goonies, Charlie. Thank you, Emily. I love that. I love learning about those. The Scottish are insane.
So crazy.
As a part
So
Scot
fun.
myself, insanity. And it's so weird. It's fun to look back on ridiculous beliefs and like... And one day we'll be doing that about us. So
Thanks for this. Shout out wizards.
Shout out all the wizards.
the real ones.
Oh.
Cool. Guys, tonight was fun. I loved it. We have some things coming up, big announcements.
I think by next episode we'll have the announcements.
Okay, next episode we have some announcements coming your way. Some of them good
Let's
for
go.
us. Not great, not the greatest for you. You might have to be skipping ads soon. But just know that means that we're getting supported for the first time in 3 years by like people other than our blessed patrons. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else for the listeners?
No.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, we love you guys. Appreciate you.
Trust your gut, watch your back.
Bye. Love you. Be safe.
Be careful out there.
Okay, bye. Chat.
What you got to say?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I got rid of a wart with clear nail polish.
Oh, I've heard about that too, actually.
Someone, I claim no negative energy from this chat. That's when everyone was spamming the evil eye. Good, smart.
Megan protecting herself from the queen's curses. I like that.
Dude. Okay, what are your thoughts on the queen? Because like
Queen, like
here's the thing. There's a level of conspiracy theory that I think everyone's comfortable with. Like, oh, you know, the government might have done weird things in the past. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then there's a level where it's like, I believe the queen is a reptilian creature who shapeshifts and feasts on the blood and flesh and bone of humans.
It's
that's
all true.
definitely true.
It's
Dude,
all true.
I'm kind of there.
I mean, how else you explain that she's been around since the 1800s?
There's like photos of her like with presidents I can't even name. I don't even remember. They're like before money.
Yeah.
And she's like alive. She was like a young girl. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, I don't want to speak too ill because I heard she's not doing great. So,
Oh yeah, that's
But-
right.
I don't know. Do you know they changed the whole nature of like giving birth because one dumbass queen of England decided to do it different? Did you know that shit?
What?
If
Yeah,
this
almost as if like kings and queens in the old days like changed history.
influencers, bro.
They're real influencers.
They're so essentially DJ Khaled of the past. Yeah, like you used to give birth on all fours. And then some queen was like, I wish to give birth on my back so no one sees me nicka. And then she laid on her back and gave birth. And everyone's like, we're doing that from now on.
Ugh.
Apparently the same thing with white wedding dresses.
I was just reading about like salt and pepper. Like, why is that the chosen condiment everywhere?
Yeah.
Like salt, because of like everyone used it for like preservation. And then pepper was like King Louis, the whatever in France, like his favorite seasoning.
So everyone's like, this is lit.
It's like he's like, everywhere must have pepper that I eat.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then everyone just adapted that.
What the?
Wild.
That is wild.
Dude, my sister Brittany baptizes food in black pepper.
What?
Unscrews the thing and it's just like, like I'm like, damn. Like
I mean,
pep-
you do the
I
same,
like
but
pepper.
with salt.
She
dog.
likes pepper. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
Yeah.
I gotta go. So
Brittany said I use an electric mill. Thanks.
she does. She does have it. It's lit. It's like it's like a power drill,
Oh, what the?
a power mill.
Power.
Oh.
Power crank.
Yeah,
Power wank.
there you go.
Good night, everyone.
And with that, appreciate you guys. This has been fun. Send us in your stories. Give us a like, give us a follow, rate, review, download, share with a friend, and stay tuned because some shit's happening for realsies.
Yes, sir.
For realsies.
For reals.
And we'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.